So my name is Beatrice Kihoria. I'm mother of three.
Nice.
I'm a donor
Wow.
to my brother Henry.
Okay.
I donated my kidney in 2021, May 19th.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, who told you that the recipient needed a transplant?
At that time, I was the caregiver to my brother Henry. So since August of 2020, when we went to Nairobi, not Nairobi Hospital, to Kenyatta from our local home hospital, and we met Professor McGill. I remember what he said, that something that is dead, it is dead, it cannot wake up. And he said to improve his way of life, he needed a transplant. And so it was upon us, the family, to decide who's gonna be the donor. Of course, there were restrictions because he said the donor must be 25 and above. And that meant we look into our family. Being our third born, so it meant we were two. It was me and my other brother, so we would donate the kidney. And given the few times when I had seen him struggle and there was a better way of life, I was like, why not go for it? At that time, there was no transplants that were being done in the country due to COVID. So at some point, Dr. Gigi in KNH announced that they were opening transplants starting, they were to do their transplant from January 2021. So the recipients and the donors were to start the process. We started. Immediately after that, we said we're gonna start. They held their first camp, which I did not attend, apparently. And one of my brother went, and my nephew, and I dropped them and I went back to work. I just work near KNH, so it wasn't a problem. And when they were there, I don't know what they were told. He sent me a message, will you be my donor? I said yes, and I told him, write my name.
Oh, wow.
That was it. That's how we started.
So, how did you feel when you first saw the recipient post-transplant? When you saw Henry for the first time after the transplant?
First of all, to bring you to speed, the happenings before.
Yeah.
So we took him, I and my husband, we took him for admission. He was to be admitted like 3 days before I was admitted. So he was admitted, I went home, and my day came, I was admitted, and the things that were going through my mind when I was brought, the papers, they were brought at night, before the day before the transplant, I was to sign that I have agreed to everything. Of course, there are those things that you expect could either go right or go wrong. To be honest, I never read all of them. I just signed. I never wanted something that would contradict what I knew or what was in my mind. So, come the morning when we were to do the transplant, I was in my bed, he was in my bed, and we were wheeled into the theater. We were given a chance to talk to each other before we were separated in the opposite theaters. Because the emotions were high at that moment. Then we went in, a few moments, I was knocked down, I don't remember much. And of course, I was briefed by Dr. Sok. She gave me a hug, I remember. And that was it. She briefed me that I'll be the first person to be operated, and then him next after they see the kidney, because they had to confirm the kidney was okay before they remove it. That was it. Apparently, I don't remember anything until 8 p.m. in the evening. I slept. I think I woke up, I don't know, I slept, and what I remember that moment was this nurse who came and told me, your brother is looking for you. He's already awake. Then I was like, what is the time? It's at night. And I couldn't make it to go and see him that first day. So I went the following day. wow. It was, when I saw him, he was in his bed, he was smiling. I could see his blood pressure on the machine were low and normal. It was magical. It was like, I don't know how I can explain that. I forgot my pain. Because still I had those stitches and what have you, the lines. I forgot everything about myself, and what I saw is this God who has done something that's so nice, so beautiful. It was everything. Seeing him take water was something that I'll never forget. For that time, when someone is thirsty and he had to take ice cubes, you can imagine yourself, you're thirsty and you're coming your thirst with an ice cube. It was horrible for me. It was horrible for me to see him wake up in the morning and his BPs are misbehaving, and we are supposed to go for a transplant, for dialysis that morning. Mm-hmm. It was horrible for me to see him not even go to ease himself because there was no urine. It was a lot. And it was even more horrible to see him with that catheter, which he needed to take care of each and every thing. It was a lot. Again, it was draining for me, working in an environment where it requires a lot of involvement, and you have a patient back in your mind, and you have to look for money, you have to do. It was a lot. So the moment I saw he was okay, I think the next thing that went to my mind, I asked for the bill. I remember very well, I asked for the bill. I wanted to see how much have we spent, how much I'm going to be done. I'm not going to be coming to this hospital. It was a relief. And maybe that's why I slept the whole day after the transplant, because my body went into arrest.
What Bible verse, quote, or mantra saying encouraged you through the donation process?
I have one colleague of mine, because there was days he used to go for transplant early in the morning. He was to be in the machine by 6. So that meant I drop him at Nairobi Hospital, then I get to work. There's this colleague of mine who used to come quite early, and he used to tell me every morning, by his stripes we are healed. This is Isaiah 54:5. That verse, even today, resonates in me, because we just need to remember what he went through, and we are healed. It doesn't matter the means, the how, the what. It is through him that we are healed. And I can tell you, seeing him, how he used to treat, seeing him go back to his life, it is all that mattered. And then the costs. For me, it was a bad that was stripped off. Moving from spending around almost removing what NHF was paying to paying around 21,000 per week, it was a lot. It was a lot. So right now, it's only that you have to buy the medication and a few tests. I can say it's the best thing. Transplant is the best thing, and being the donor, it is never written anywhere. It's only now I want to get a bad that I'm a kidney donor, so that when people see me, they see, oh, you can donate and still be okay and still be good. Because I think that is where the fear is. Otherwise, if you can do what you gotta do, if you're gonna do what you need, whether it is organ, whether it is money, donate.
Yes.
And give other people a better life.
Amen.
And of course, donors save lives.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Human
Yes.
angels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're closing up, So we'd like to close with a fun question. So describe what a hero looks like to you.
A hero.
Yes.
Is a person who is willing to go through things and come out victorious.
Amen.
It doesn't matter what things you're going through. It can be a disease. It can be through a procedure like you went through. When you're taken through those machines, you're tested, and you're thinking, what if they find I have another disease? You do not know yourself.
Yeah.
That's a hero to me. It's a person who will stand up and tell their story. They have owned their story, they have conquered, and now they can tell it. That's a hero to me. Our parents are heroes.
Amen.
Because being able to stand and see their children go through things, most parents get broken, but the parents of, especially these people with lifetime diseases, they are heroes. Even when you see that mother taking care of a child who they do not know the ending,
Yeah.
the chronic people, they are heroes, they are warriors. These people fight every day.
Yes.
Those are heroes to me.